So the recording is already started. We have now all of you. Thank you very much to join us. And the main thing is that, as Miguel from Student Association already told, that they are doing it about social inequality, but at the same moment, it is also because recently in Lithuania, I mean, I shared with others, but maybe Konsti doesn't know about it. In Lithuania, the thing is that government is changing the regulations towards studies, and they want to make studies more better, but there is a fear that though making those studies quality better can also impact the tuition fee for students. I know this is a different situation in Germany, but here people do pay for studies like as a tuition fee. So that's why the main motive behind this whole talk was to share your own personal experiences, and the same moment to relate it with that how much tuition fee has an impact on studies and what kind of barriers can make it in our not personal life, also in between our social lives. So thank you very much to join us, and I hope every one of you is doing fine. So the thing is that, as you know, my name is Gill, and we are talking in Kaunas. It's the 17th of February, 2021, and the local time is already 4:19 p.m. And we are going to start to talk about tuition fee and what is their importance in our student life. So I can start it from Turkey, from Asya and Selahattin. I just want to know that what kind of situation you have in your country regarding tuition fee. Do you pay tuition fee to study?
No, we don't pay any money for study.
Primary, high school, university, all of them.
All of them is free.
And if you will imagine that tomorrow government is going to change the regulation and you have to pay the tuition fee, how you are? What will be your reaction?
It's gonna be weird, and I don't know.
I will take school.
Will you continue your education, or you will just drop out?
Yeah, normally.
We have to. We need to some education is very important thing. You know, and must go on school.
And what about Germany? How it is going on there? Do you pay tuition fee? Sarina, you can start.
Yeah. So no, we don't have to pay tuition fee. We just pay a semester fee. But it depends on the university how much, and it's also less for the public universities than the private universities.
So you do have private and public university both in Germany. So private universities does charge the tuition fee and public does not.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But in the case, the same question I will go like, if tomorrow you are going to discover that German government has said that you have to pay 5,000 euros per year for your education in the university, what would be your reaction?
I would think about how I would get the money because it's so much, and yeah, try to find a way. Yeah, get my parents to spend more money for my education, and also find a better job with more hours, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And I will pass the same question to Konsti, that, for example, Sarina already said that it is going to be hard for pay that much amount of money, and at the same time maybe she has to ask for help from her parents and finding a like better job or something. Do you think that when you are going to find out a better job, it is also going to strain you to find more working hours? Like you have to work more for making more money, and it's going to be kind of barrier to pursue the education. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it will be kind of a barrier if you would have to do it like this, because you simply don't have that much time anymore. So I mean, like, studying, it's not only just about learning, it's about meeting people and getting into contact and all that stuff, and building up a network. So I think for this stuff, there would be much less time because you have to work more to at least finance it. And right now we have in Germany, I think, a good situation because a lot of people, they are working because it's pretty expensive in some cities to live. But still, you have more possibilities to still connect with people and learn at the same time, and not only work that you can pay your fees. So yeah, it would be a big impact. Yeah, I think.
Do you think that it should continue in the same way as you are already having the system in public universities to pay the only semester fee, not the tuition fee?
Yeah, I think for me it's fine. I never knew another system, so it's working, I would say, but it's hard to compare because I never saw any other system or lived in another system where you have to pay really much. As Serena already said, we have these private universities where you have to pay fees, and they are really expensive, some of them at least. So yeah, but you basically, or that's what I heard, is you're basically paying for the contacts you get in this private university. So the education is not better. It's the same like in a public university, but you're paying for the networking there because it's sometimes easier to get into a firm or a company if you're doing it at a private university because they already have corporations in these private universities, for example. But that's just one aspect of it. There are a lot of others, but for me, it's fine like it is, because I think the semester fees are okay. I think a lot of people can afford it, and that's a good system that works, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Now we are going to pass to Kazakhstan.
So, in Kazakhstan, we even pay for the study in universities. So, but we have study grants. It's not so many people have it, but we have. I pay for my study in Kazakhstan, but it's not so much like in Europe. 1 year of study, it's 1,000 euros in my university, but many universities high payment. So I'm working in my city. I'm working to pay for my study. So for me, it's normal because I'm not on the grant. And for us, it's we pay for study or we not pay this for study is the same because we have payment and it's free. So
are you working to pay for your study?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the same way, if you didn't have that, that you have to pay that, then you don't have to work, or you still have to work.
If you have free study, you may don't work, but most of us, our guys that have study grants, they are working because it's their money, which they will have. In my country, many young guys, girls, we are working not only for pay the study, but even this is our money, and we don't take any money from our parents or something like this. And for us, it's normal.
But if there will be some kind of incentive from the government side, for example, you are good in studies and you don't have to pay for your tuition fee, and at the same moment you're also getting some kind of money to sustain yourself. So would it impact in a different way? For example, you will refrain to work less and you're going to focus more on your studies. Because the main point what I'm trying to ask is that when you're studying and you're working and you're paying for your tuition fee, it is something that is it kind of a barrier for
myself that it's very hard to work and study because my study is in the morning and up to the afternoon, and then from my study I'm going to my work and I work to pay the study. It's a little bit hard, but I don't know. All of people from my country are understanding this, that you need to work to pay. And for us, it's normal. We're working to pay for study or something else. And
But you don't have any scholarship programs or incentives from the government that will help?
We have it, but it's not so many program for people. So we have it. It's like study grant. You don't pay 4 years when you study, but not many people go to this grant.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Now we can to Marco. Yay!
Hey.
So we were just talking about how is the situation about the tuition fee in the different countries. So we would like to know how is it in Italy? Do you pay tuition fee to study?
In Italy, we have both public and private university. I'm in a public university, and yes, I pay for it. I have an annual fee. I paid such as 1,500 for a year.
Okay.
So yeah, basically there are different kind to pay based on a document that was called ISE. So there is a different class.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you think that there should be tuition fee or not?
Yes, I think that it would be a free study. It's a right for our people, so it's not right that people can study because they haven't enough money to pay it.
Mm-hmm. But do you get any kind of help from the government in Italy? For example, you are said, as you mentioned already, that you're paying 1,500 euros, but in maybe tomorrow, if you have a good grades or maybe you are volunteering somewhere, an active student, do they help you in some way?
Yes, we have some help. When I did my bachelor, I took it with Laude, and I have a sort of say on the extension of the next year. But there are a lot of help for studying people.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's very nice to know that at least there's help available if somebody really do something best or if they need. We will go back to Turkey, Asya, and Selahattin. I just want to know that, as you mentioned, that in Turkey you don't have to pay anything, but you don't have to pay even semester fee. For example, in Germany, they are paying semester fee of 200, 300 euros, but you don't have to pay even that, or you have to pay something. Nothing.
No, actually, we Turkey students two parts. For example, first secondary and second education. First education. If study second education, you give money, but not much money.
Okay, but how do you think that is it burden for your government in one way to give free studies? I mean, because everyone they have to finish, they have to just conclude everything in the taxpayers' money. So when they're funding the universities, the money is coming from somewhere else. So how do you think that giving a free education can be a burden for government, or it is the right of the government to give the free education to the citizens of the country?
Yes.
But education level less. For example, you can private university and education very good, but some public university not just you give
Normal quality.
very beautiful university. For example, in best city in Izmir University, but other city university normal. Just
Okay. So you think it is happening because of private and public, because there is a difference of money is coming in the university?
yeah, very expensive.
But don't you think that government can also make public universities at the same level?
Yeah, we want,
Yes.
but
We
no.
want, but it's not.
Yeah, if you want same, you take high score in university exam, then you get best university in Turkey.
Scholarship or grants.
Okay. And that would be more competitive, as much as I know. High competition and not everyone's cup of tea. So understand. So it's really nice that you also told about it, because now we can go back to Germany, because they have also private and public universities. So do you feel in Germany that it's the same, like as Turkey said, that in private universities education is better than public universities because private universities are getting more funding than public universities?
Yeah, so I would not say that you get a better education in private universities. It's just like, yeah, they offer something different, like Konstantin tried to explain. I also know that, yeah, it doesn't matter to the employee if you come from a private university or a public. And most of our universities in Germany are public, so that's not really the matter here.
As I said before, Serena also told, I think education is not better in the private universities. It's just maybe the network which can be better because of the companies they have cooperation with, and then you have the possibility maybe to get in some jobs easier. But as Serena already said, the employee does not care, the employer, what kind of education you have there.
So it is mostly like government fundings are enough for your public universities that have enough like the standard is always high. It is not coming down because people are not paying, but the government is somehow at the same time supporting those universities.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's every year is this ranking of the top universities worldwide, and I think the 3 or 4 or 2, I don't know how many universities are there from Germany in the top 100 or top 50, but they are all public ones. So you can just study there without paying a lot of money.
It is really intriguing that in Germany they have a really good system somehow, like, because I really appreciate it. But at the same moment, and now I want to know, because as we all are collected here, in Turkey and German, you don't have to pay the tuition fee, but I would like to know, how is your social life then? Do you have still some barriers in your social life, even after like having this kind of system, or maybe this kind of system is impacting on your social life in positive way or any other way you want to share?
Yeah, I think it's really positive for me because I mean, I'm working besides my university, but only for like extra money. I would not need to work. Yeah, because yeah, it's not that much money you need for university and your studies. So it's really good for my social life. I can do a lot of things, and yeah, if I would have to pay such an amount of money, like I said, I would need to work a lot harder than that.
Okay, so it is like taking your burden off, half of the burden of your life. That the most importantly, if I'm wrong, correct me, it is more like they are not taking away your student life from you.
Yes, yeah, you can say that. So I don't have really to worry about the money. And I think most of the students in Germany don't have. And I think we didn't mention it. So we have an also supportive financial system from the government. So if you don't have so much money, or your parents don't have so much money to support you, you can get financial help from the government. So it's also another point. Yeah.
So it's like a plus point, even though you are not going to pay your tuition fee, but extra you can have money to sustain yourself from the government side every month or every year, something like this. Cool.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Kristina, as you already mentioned, that you are paying, you are working, and after hearing all the opinions, after knowing that in some countries there's nothing to pay and how it is impacting positively their life, do you think that a government in Kazakhstan should implement such kind of good practices from different countries for your own young people?
I think yes, but they say that in the primary universities they study more worse than, or in the primary is more better, in the government's universities more or less. I think that in my country in all universities were paid, and the study is the same. Not so bad, not so good. It's normal. So I think that if we couldn't pay, it will be more worse study.
Okay. So you're thinking that funding is necessary, it's coming from people, not the government.
Yeah.
So Marco, like tomorrow you are getting appointed by United Nations to change the educational system in Italy. What would you like to change, especially in university life?
Oh, yes, there are a lot of things that I want to change. I want in general. I think that it's difficult to find the problem in a university system because there are a lot of variables to know and to. For example, in Italy, I would more practical hour, but there are enough structure. So this is an example of I change in university in Italy.
Okay, and I will proceed with the same question to Konsti. So the question I can repeat again that I asked Marco was, if you are tomorrow going to choose by United Nations and going to appoint it to be responsible for education system in your country, and you want to change something, what you are going to change?
To be honest, right now I'm pretty fine with it. I think sometimes living in specific cities is quite expensive in Germany, but that always depends. I can say for myself, I'm from Munich, for example. To live there as a student, only with the money you normally have with working hours, because normally if you're working as a student, you normally are working as a working student, so you're allowed to do like 20 hours a week. So if you're living in a really big city that is expensive, it's nearly impossible to pay rent there without support of your parents. I mean, some have the luxury that they are supported, and I think a lot of people have it in Germany, but there are enough people that don't have it. So yeah, maybe I would work on this a bit, but it would not be directly on the tuition fee system. It would be more like like living conditions for students that don't have the money or the support from the parents that they can afford to live in cities like that, because mostly these expensive cities have the best universities. So even if you have the education and the grades to go there, but you cannot afford it because you can't afford to live there, that's a pity, I think. I think that would be one thing I would try to change.
Because it is quite similarly happening in Lithuania too, because when you have some metropolitan cities that are more people over there, more universities, and more students are coming from the different parts of the country, so the space is less, but people need somewhere to live. And it's still prevalent here to have dormitories in Lithuania. I'm not sure how it does work in Germany, but sometimes dormitory is not fulfill the requirement of a person, so they have to move out. I know that last year, because when we had Erasmus, like normally, because now we are not having Erasmus normally, and very less students are coming in these last 2 semesters. Last year, in the same spring semester, we had happened to know that there was a rent in Kaunas. Like Kaunas is not that big city, even in Kaunas, even in Lithuania. I mean, but the rent was for Erasmus students like a small studio. It was just like a one room, and just next to the room there was this very small kitchen, and next to that was a very small bathroom. It was just like one room in total, to be honest. In that space everything was packed, and they were asking 450 euros per month. So that, according to the standards of living conditions and average salaries in Lithuania, that is quite huge and a lot. So that's a really nice topic. Like when we are talking about tuition fee, then the tuition fee is not the only factor, even though the living condition and how a person has to sustain themselves is also an important factor. But I would really proceed with this question to ask, like, what do you think, what can be the solution for this? Or how it can be solved? Just anything that you have in your mind, you think?
Well, I think that's a really big political topic, because it always depends on the cities. For example, here in Germany, if you, for example, comparing Cologne and Munich, it's a completely different world. I mean, you have a lot of people living in both cities, but in Munich, for the room you just described, where you had to pay 450 in Kaunas, you would pay in Munich 700 to 800 at least minimum. And that's normal for there because it's just so expensive. So I think the solution would be the cities have to act, buy back some property, that it's not always private, that they can kind of regulate the price a bit. But I mean, that's not like a university or student problem. It's more like a political problem from the city. So that would be one solution. Because I mean, in Cologne here, when I moved here, there were a lot of people too, and a lot of people searching for rooms and accommodation too, but the prices were still normal. So that you were paying a lot less than in Munich, and there were exactly the same people. There were a lot of people on search as well, but simply prices were really, really high. So it always depends on the city. I think like a general solution, there's not. I think you have to look at every city single.
Okay. So let's move to Sarina again. So there's a lot of time that we didn't ask anything to her. I would just ask, like, just imagine that we are living in a utopia, which is not going to happen any soon. I'm not sure about that. If it will happen, that's a good thing. But if it's not happening, that's a different thing. But there is an educational system generally, like if you look at whole educational system in the worldwide, what do you think that the main things students should be provided with? For example, I will just elaborate it further. Not having tuition fee or some kind of scholarship, and at the same time having some problems keeping in mind by the university and the local municipality about their living conditions or something. So what do you think that what will be ideal life for a student with what kind of conditions?
I think what you most have to worry about as every human is just it's food and your living. That comes first before everything, and then you worry about your studies or your social life or anything else. So it's really important that studies are there, but also that you have enough money to buy proper food and not live in a shithole. So
that will be beep in the recording, but it's okay. Thank you so much for being so honest.
Yeah, so I would say, if I want something to change, I really would like, still to continue with the tuition fee and have help from the government if I need it. So if I'm in need for more money to live and to rent a proper apartment or proper room, then this too, that they help you with it. But I actually think that there are some systems in Germany where you can apply for that too. So we have a really good system, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. So it's really nice input from Germany side, because I hope it could be such kind of good practices would be shared within European Union first, for sure. So there should be more encouragement and incentives, like in Turkey, in Germany, for the students, a motivation to study. And we know that literacy rate is higher in Europe for sure, but it also happened, it's just my personal story, because I wanted to study medicine and I couldn't because the prices of the studies were so high. It was not about my grades, but about the prices. So I can feel that pain, that when you want to achieve, like even today I want to be a doctor, but I can't be, fine, okay, now let's choose something else because we don't have any of that option. But yeah, so it's a good thing that if such kind of good practices would be shared within European countries, and first they will start to implement such kind of things, and it would be more easier life for everyone else, and everyone can pursue what they really want to be in their life. So it's really nice to know that. So Turkey, do you have problem like about paying rent?
Actually, government have a lot of dormitory in public. For example, every school have 2 or 3, and girl or boy, totally 5 dormitory, and dormitory very cheap. For example, government give 500 Turkish lira's, and this dormitory price month 300 Turkish lira's, and we have provide food and electric, water, all of need. But normal home rent
Much more than
not much. For example, if you 3 or 2 students rent house, totally 1,000 Turkish lira's, and you can normal scholarship.
Okay, so I think so we are near to finish this podcast right now. So I'm not going to ask any question like subjective one, but now I'm going to ask only one objective, last shortcut question about in Turkey, how you are going to rate your student life from 1 till 10. What marks you want to give?
it's changed by city, but in Izmir, it's really good. I think it's 10 on 10. Yes.
Okay, 10 out of 10. Is it because of Izmir or because of education? What about Kazakhstan? How would you, Christina, how you are going to rate the study, not study, but the student life from 0 to 10?
I think
Or 1 to
it's
10.
maybe 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Almaty is one of the most cities in Kazakhstan, and it's hard to student to live there because if you're study there, you need to work to pay, so it's hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about Italy, Marco? How you are going to rate from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10 student life?
I think 7, because Palermo is a very difficult city. But I think that this would change in different parts of Italy. So, for example, in Milano and Torino, it's more easy to be a student.
Okay, thank you. And Konzi?
I think overall, like an 8, something like this. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good, I would say. I can't complain.
Okay, thank you. And Sarina, how would you rate? Is rating different than Konzi's? Drum rolls.
I would say 9.
Okay.
But before coronavirus, it was a 10, but now it's.
Oh, okay. So I can take it as 10 because that's very temporary for 9 and coronavirus. Okay. So thank you very much. I think after discussing this so strange topic that is very hot topic right now, let's reduce the tuition fees and have some parties. Oh, please cut this part when I said the party.